What if I told you your shoes, yes, the very one sitting by your door right now, might be silently stealing your freedom? Now, I know that sounds a little dramatic, but hear me out. It's not just about style or comfort anymore. As we age, every little choice we make about what we put on our feet can either protect our independence or slowly chip away at it. And the truth is, most people don't even realize it's happening. You may think, oh, I've been wearing these for years, and I'm just fine. But fine isn't the same as free. It's not the same as waking up without that ache in your lower back. Or standing up without worrying if you'll feel wobbly again today. Or taking a peaceful walk around the neighborhood without the fear of tripping, or worse. Look, I get it. You've earned your comfort. You've earned the right to relax a little. But some of the most comfortable shoes out there, they're actually doing more harm than good. And it's not your fault. No one talks about this stuff. Not the salespeople. Not even most doctors. In today's video, we're going to uncover 8 shockingly common footwear choices that could be quietly accelerating your pain, increasing your risk of falls, and yes, even sending more seniors into hospitals than we care to admit. But don't worry, we're not just here to scare you. We're here to help. Because I'm also going to share 3 simple, powerful footwear solutions that could honestly change the way you move, feel, and live. And number 5 on our list? It's a shoe that millions of older adults wear every single day. You might even be wearing it right now. And hardly anyone talks about the risks it carries until it's too late. So, stay with me, because what you're about to learn could make all the difference in how you walk through your golden years, with strength, confidence, and freedom. Now, I know this might not be the kind of topic you hear about every day. Shoes? Really? But stay with me. Because this isn't just about fashion or a good fit. This is about something deeper. Something that affects your health, your safety, and your freedom in ways most people don't even realize until it's too late. Here at Elders Wisdom Institute, we're all about empowering you to age with strength, dignity, and wisdom. We believe growing older shouldn't mean growing weaker or more restricted. You deserve to move through life with confidence and joy. But what if one of the most overlooked threats to your well-being is sitting right under your nose? Or rather, under your feet? Yes, your footwear. That simple pair of shoes you slip on every morning could be doing more than just carrying you from place to place. It could be quietly altering your posture, straining your joints, even damaging the nerves in your feet. And the consequences? They're not small. Poor footwear choices have been linked to chronic back pain, joint stiffness, loss of balance, dangerous falls, bunions, hammer toes, and even long-term nerve damage. Not to mention poor circulation, something especially risky if you're dealing with diabetes or neuropathy. These aren't just minor inconveniences. These are the things that can rob you of the ability to stay active, to walk unassisted, or even to live independently. It starts small, maybe a little stumble on uneven ground. A nagging heel pain that keeps coming back, a fall in the kitchen that you brushed off because you got lucky. But I want you to understand something very important: these moments add up. And the difference between staying strong and slipping into frailty. It's often found in the things we ignore, the things we assume are harmless. Like the shoes we've worn for years just because they're comfortable. Or the ones that are easy to slip on, but offer zero support. So today, we're breaking that cycle. We're going to look at 8 common footwear mistakes that are especially risky as we age, choices that far too many older adults make without realizing the damage being done. This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. And once you know what to look out for, you'll be able to make better choices, ones that protect your independence, support your body, and keep you moving with strength for years to come. So let's get into it. Let's break down the 8 footwear mistakes we must avoid as we age. Let's start with the first mistake, one that might seem obvious at first glance, but still catches so many people off guard: high heels and elevated shoes. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I don't wear stilettos anymore. But I'm not just talking about those sky-high party shoes. Even a 1-inch heel, yes, just 1 inch, can start to throw off your natural alignment. And when you change the way your foot strikes the ground, your whole body compensates. Your knees bend a little more. Your hips tilt. Your lower back tightens to keep you upright. And over time, that tiny shift becomes a daily strain on your joints. Your knees start to ache. Your hips feel stiff. That soreness you thought was just getting older? It might actually be coming from your shoes. Here's the thing. Elevated heels change the natural position of your foot, which alters the way force moves up through your legs and spine. Your body wasn't designed to walk that way for hours. And yet, so many of us do, whether it's dress shoes, heeled boots, or even comfort wedges with just enough lift to do damage slowly, over time. So ask yourself, are those dressy shoes really worth the daily wear? Are they worth the joint pain, the fatigue, the risk of a misstep? Because when you really look at the cost, it's more than just sore feet. Underscore 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 underscore. Let's move on to another big offender, one that's incredibly common and often misunderstood: flip-flops and flat slippers. Now, I get it. They're light. They're easy. You can slide them on without bending over. And when your feet feel swollen or tired, that sounds like a dream. But here's the truth, they offer almost no support. Flip-flops, ballet flats, soft bedroom slippers. None of these are built to support the arches of your feet. And without that support, every step becomes unstable. Your feet work overtime to grip and balance. Your toes curl. Your ankles wobble. And when there's no back to hold your heel in place, your stride shortens. Your steps become uncertain. And your risk of tripping, especially on stairs, rugs, or curbs, skyrockets. Sure, they're ideal for a quick stroll to the mailbox or a day at the beach. But daily movement? Walking through the grocery store? Doing chores around the house? That's where these soft, flat shoes can turn from cozy to dangerous. They don't protect your arches. They don't cushion your heels. They don't stabilize your stride. Yes, they're easy, but at what cost? Sometimes, the shoes that feel easiest in the moment end up being the ones that make moving harder in the long run. So, if flip-flops and flat slippers are your go-to, it might be time to think twice before slipping into them again tomorrow. Now let's talk about a footwear mistake that sneaks up on almost all of us: worn-out shoes. You know the pair I'm talking about. That old reliable set you've had for years. The ones that feel just right the moment you put them on. Soft, broken in, mold to your feet like an old friend. But here's the thing no one tells you about old friends like these. Sometimes, they stop supporting you long before you realize it. As shoes age, the soles start to wear down. The shock-absorbing materials, like the gel, the foam, the inner cushioning, they break down quietly, step by step, day after day. You don't notice it at first. The outside might still look okay. Maybe a little scuffed, but still wearable. But underneath? The very part of the shoe that's supposed to protect your feet, your knees, your spine, it's done. It's tired. It's no longer doing its job. And what happens then? Every step becomes harder on your body. Your heels absorb more pressure. Your knees take more impact. Your risk of a misstep or a stumble increases with every errand, every grocery trip, every walk through the house. All because of a shoe that feels familiar, but no longer functions the way it should. So let me ask you this, when was the last time you actually checked the bottoms of your favorite pair? Flip them over. Look at the tread. Feel the sole. Is it uneven? Flattened? Cracked in places? If so, it might be time to say goodbye, no matter how much you love them. Because in this stage of life, comfort shouldn't just feel good, it should also protect you. Underscore 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 underscore. Now let's move on to something equally important and far more uncomfortable: tight shoes. We've all worn them at some point. Maybe you sized down because the store didn't have your exact fit. Maybe your feet swell later in the day, but your shoes don't give an inch. Maybe they looked nice, so you thought, I'll break them in eventually. But let me be clear, pain is never just a part of the process. And pain should never be normal. Tight shoes restrict your blood flow. That's especially dangerous if you're dealing with diabetes or circulation issues. And when your toes are constantly squeezed together, you increase your risk of blisters, calluses, bunions, and even deformities like hammer toes. If you already live with neuropathy or numbness in your feet, tight shoes can make it worse, and even mask serious injuries. You could be walking around with a sore or a cut you can't feel, and not realize it until it becomes infected. Tight shoes don't just cause discomfort, they invite long-term damage. And yet so many of us wear them because we don't want to waste a good pair, or we've convinced ourselves it's just something we have to live with as we age. But please hear me when I say this. Your feet have carried you through a lifetime. They deserve room to move, to breathe, to function properly. Shoes should support your feet, not squeeze them into silence. Now, mistake number 5 is one I see far too often, and it's especially tricky because it feels so convenient at first. I'm talking about backless shoes, clogs, mules, slip-ons without a strap. You know the kind. You just slide your foot in and go. No laces. No bending over. No fuss. But here's the part we don't always think about: they slip off just as easily as you can slip into them. When there's nothing holding the heel in place, your foot has to grip with every single step. Your toes curl, your ankle tightens, and your stride shortens. It might not seem like much, but over time, that unnatural walking pattern wears down your stability. It throws off your balance. Your posture shifts to compensate. Your body starts to move in ways it wasn't designed to. And for older adults, especially those with any history of falls or balance issues, that's a dangerous combination. Backless shoes increase your risk of tripping, sliding, stumbling, especially on uneven surfaces. And let's face it, most homes are filled with little hazards. Throw rugs, thresholds, steps, cords, all it takes is one wrong step. And it's not just about walking. Think about getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or even stepping out of bed. If that backless shoe slips off at the wrong moment, you could find yourself facing a fall you never saw coming. So even if they're easy to wear, ask yourself this: are they helping you feel secure, or are they silently adding risk to every step? Underscore 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 underscore. Now let's talk about something that's often meant to help, but can backfire when we're not careful: heavy orthopedic shoes. Now, don't get me wrong. Orthopedic footwear can be a lifesaver when it's done right. Supportive soles, arch alignment, shock absorption, all of that can make a huge difference. But sometimes, in the effort to correct posture or support the foot, these shoes end up becoming big, bulky, and heavy. And here's what happens next: your legs start to fatigue. Not just after a long walk, but even during short movements. You find yourself dragging your feet more, lifting your knees higher to compensate. Your whole walking rhythm starts to shift. And over time, that new, altered gait creates its own set of problems. You might develop hip strain, knee pain, even back discomfort you didn't have before. It's ironic, isn't it? Shoes designed to help end up changing your body's natural movement in a way that hurts your long-term comfort. And the worst part? Most people don't realize what's happening. They assume the heaviness is worth that support. But what they're really doing is swapping one problem for another. So if your orthopedic shoes feel like they're weighing you down, literally, then it might be time to ask a new question: are they helping you move with ease, or holding you back without you even noticing? Because your shoes should be working for you, not making you work harder. Let's keep going, because the seventh footwear mistake is one that's often disguised as healthy. Trendy sneakers without support. You know the kind. Lightweight, breathable, sleek. They look like they belong on a marathon runner. And hey, maybe you were told they're good walking shoes. And sure, they feel soft, they're easy to slip on, and they look great with just about everything. But here's what most people don't realize: many of these athletic style shoes are built for appearance, not anatomy. They focus on lightness instead of structure, on style instead of stability. And that's where the problems start. Because without the right kind of internal support, arch stability, heel control, and proper cushioning, your feet are left doing all the work. Every step puts strain on the ligaments, the joints, the tendons. Your knees and hips try to pick up the slack. And slowly, you start to feel it, not just in your feet, but in your legs, your lower back, even your energy levels. So ask yourself this: is comfort enough if stability is missing? Because the truth is, comfort that leads to weakness isn't really comfort at all. And in our later years, we need more than softness. We need smart support that works with our body, not against it. And that brings us to mistake number 8, one that hides in plain sight until it causes real trouble: non-breathable materials. Shoes that don't let your feet breathe, made of synthetic fabrics, rubbery linings, or cheap plastic blends, create the perfect storm inside your shoes. Heat builds up. Moisture gets trapped. And before long, you're dealing with sweaty feet, fungal infections, odor, and in more serious cases, open sores or skin breakdown. Now this is especially dangerous for anyone living with diabetes or reduced sensation in the feet. If your skin can't breathe, it becomes vulnerable. And if you can't feel when something's wrong, like a blister forming or skin rubbing raw, you may not notice a problem until it's already become an infection. But it doesn't have to get to that point. The right materials: breathable mesh, soft leathers, moisture-wicking linings, they can keep your feet dry, protected, and healthier long-term. It's a small detail, but one that makes a huge difference when it comes to comfort and safety. Because let's be honest, if your feet could breathe, they'd thank you. So what's the alternative? What do you do when everything on the store shelf seems either too flimsy, too heavy, or just plain wrong for your needs? Don't worry, it's not all bad news. In fact, now that you know what to avoid, you're already one step ahead. Because next, we're going to walk through 3 practical footwear changes, small, smart shifts you can make starting today, that could transform the way you move, the way you feel, and the way you age. Yes, it really can be that powerful. Let's talk about what works. Let's shift gears now, from problems to possibilities. Because here's the truth. Yes, there are risky shoes out there. And yes, they can do real harm over time. But that doesn't mean you're stuck. It doesn't mean you have to live with pain or worry with every step. In fact, making just a few smart, thoughtful changes can completely transform the way you walk, the way you move, the way you live. So let's explore 3 life-changing footwear solutions: practical, doable, and absolutely worth your time. White heavy checkmark solution number 1: get professionally fitted, at least once a year. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Do I really need to get measured again? I've been the same size for years. But here's something most people don't realize: your feet change as you age. With time, your arches can fall. The padding on the soles of your feet thins out. Your ligaments stretch. Your feet may even widen or lengthen. And yes, weight changes and health conditions can speed that up. So wearing the same shoe size you wore 10 years ago? It might be more about habit than accuracy. That's why getting a professional fitting, ideally once a year, isn't about vanity. It's not about fashion. It's a smart investment in your stability, in your comfort, in your independence. A proper fitting can uncover things you didn't know were holding you back, like uneven pressure points, poor arch support, or shoes that are just a half size off, but still doing damage. And remember, a good shoe store that specializes in comfort or orthopedic wear will usually offer fittings at little to no cost. You deserve that kind of care. White heavy checkmark solution number 2. Look for these 3 features in every single shoe. Whether you're shopping online or in person, always check for the 3 things that make the biggest difference. 1. Non-slip soles, especially important if your home has hardwood, tile, or rugs. You want grip, stability, confidence in every step. 2. Arch support, not too soft, not too stiff. You want gentle elevation that follows your natural foot shape, reducing pressure on your heels and balls of your feet. 3. A cushioned but firm heel, this protects your heel strike while keeping your ankle secure. No wobbling. No unexpected rolling. Even if a shoe looks perfect, ask yourself, does it check all 3 boxes? In fact, I'd love to know, which of these do you look for first when you're shopping? Drop it in the comments below. You might help someone else in this community make a better choice, too. White heavy checkmark solution number 3, rotate your shoes throughout the week. This one's simple, but surprisingly powerful. You see, wearing the same pair of shoes every day puts repeated pressure on the exact same points on your feet. Over time, it leads to strain, fatigue, and sometimes even the breakdown of the shoe itself. But when you rotate between 2 or 3 supportive pairs, you give your feet a break. Different shoes distribute pressure differently. They let certain muscles rest while others engage. And that rotation keeps your feet more balanced, more energized, and less prone to injury. Plus, rotating shoes helps them last longer. They dry out between wears. They hold their shape better. And yes, it's better for hygiene, too. Less moisture, less odor, fewer chances for bacteria or fungus to build up inside. So even if it means picking up an extra pair or dusting off one you haven't worn in a while, consider giving your shoes a day off once in a while. Your feet will thank you for it. So, now that you've heard all 8 of those sneaky footwear mistakes and the 3 life-changing fixes, which one hit closest to home for you? Was it the trendy sneakers that looked good but lacked support? Was it the old favorite sitting in the closet way past their prime? Or maybe, just maybe, it was something you never even realized could be a problem until now. We'd love to hear your story. Which one surprised you the most? Have you experienced foot pain, balance issues, or discomfort because of a shoe you trusted? Scroll down and share your experience in the comments, because chances are, someone else out there is going through the same thing. And your voice might just help them feel seen and supported. Here at Elders Wisdom Institute, this is what we're all about. Creating a space where growing older doesn't mean shrinking back. It means standing tall, moving freely, and living with confidence, one wise choice at a time. If today's video gave you something to think about, if it sparked a new perspective, or even just reminded you to check the shoes you've been slipping into each day, go ahead and tap that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And click that little bell icon so you never miss another empowering tip from Elders Wisdom Institute. We're walking this path of wisdom together. And every step matters. Footprints coming up next. We're diving into something that could literally save your life, 5 simple balance exercises designed especially for older adults, and especially powerful if you've been wearing the wrong shoes. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. See you there.